Now we're going to get into the fun stuff. This is like the main things we focus on when we come into the house are going to be the big things, right? Anything that's really big that's aesthetic, and then all the electric, plumbing, and HVAC, right? These are the things that kind of, you know, if those are pretty solid in the house, people don't complain. If those are bad in the house, they don't care how nice it looks, they're going to complain. They think they're buying a lemon because all those things seem to be a little not well taken care of. So when we walk in, we're obviously always looking for anything that's really big and aesthetic. When we look at paint, we're usually looking like 5 foot away. I don't see anything major right now, but I'm going to go through our list so I can keep everything. Now that we're on the inside, let's turn the HVAC on. Can we, Scott or whoever's there, turn it on, put it like 72 or something. Let's get it warm in here, make sure it's working. I don't know if it's actually on or not. So we're going to turn that on, make sure we got good airflow to everything. Make sure it gets nice and warm in here. If it's a summertime, we can't check the AC in the winter when it's cold because it'll always work. But it, you know, unfortunately you can't check it, so we just make sure it's actually getting airflow. But so if we can't get it on, and guess what? We need to make sure it's off that. Because if we can't get it on, the home inspector's not going to get it on, and he's like, hey, it doesn't work. Like, that's generally how they roll. They're like, it didn't work. Like, I've had them, like, not even just the buttons off, and they're like, doesn't work. They don't usually do a lot of programming and trying to figure things out. So let's see if that'll actually come on or not, because we need to check it. Temporary hold. That went from permanent to temporary.
We should be smelling it, right? Once it
Well, it's not
starts
even
blowing,
running.
yeah.
We'll give it a few minutes and we'll go from there. All right, so what's the next
Bathroom?
thing on our list? So we're down to HVAC. We're going to check all that if it starts running. If not, we're going to try to get it running, right? Plumbing. So let's start the dishwasher. Who knows how to do dishwashers? I don't actually know.
I'm good at that.
So the dishwasher takes like 20 to 30 minutes to run through a cycle. We want it to run through the cycle while we're going through the rest of the house to make sure there's no leaks or anything. So all you gotta do is just turn it on and just run one whole cycle and let it do that in the background while we're looking at other stuff.
There you go.
So that's a good start, but here's what we're looking for. Make sure that it runs, it goes through all the cycles. The last cycle on it actually will push water out, and that's usually when there's leaks. So we're gonna just make sure it's not leaking. You know, if it goes through that and there's no leak, that's what we're really looking for, is leaks with it. And the fact that it'll turn on and work is a big one too, but that's the simple one. So next we're gonna go for a plumbing standpoint. Let's run the sink. Let's go ahead and turn the sink on and let it run for a bit. And make sure you put it on hot so we can make sure the hot water's working. And Scott, if you could open the doors up under the sink, just in case there's like some major leaks, we want to know about that before the water starts coming our way. If you don't see anything major, we're going to let it run for a bit while we're doing other stuff, okay? The reason we're letting it run, we want to make sure that it doesn't just not leak with a quick run, but if it runs for a few minutes that it doesn't leak, because that's what a home inspector is going to let that run for like 10 minutes probably. He'll just let it run and run. He might even let it run and try to get other things running to see if the water pressure comes down and everything's good. So these are all pretty common things. While you're in here, and you guys can do this, let's see what the next thing is. So we're running the sink, make sure we look under, we're doing that, checking the water temp. Check the kitchen cabinets, make sure all the doors on the kitchen cabinets are opening. And make sure they're fairly level with each other.
Leave it. He wants you to leave it running.
Is it warm? No. It's not warm. Okay.
All right, open cabinets.
Let's let it run for a bit and then see if it gets warm, but if it doesn't, we need to know about that.
Assuming that's warm.
Well, it would be incorrectly. Let's let that run for a bit if it don't get hot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's not good. But, so main thing we're looking for though is, do the doors open and shut? And are they fairly level right here? Like, they can be a little unlevel, but if they're majorly unlevel, there's a way to adjust these and make them look nice. These are pretty level. And they're opening and shutting correctly. You know, the knobs are pretty straight. These drawers are going in and out. You see, this is what we're checking, right? Just make sure all the doors open and shut. They're not off the rails. Just overall, I feel like there was something up with that. Yeah. No one not working? So see, that's off the rail then. Something wrong with that. Feels a little, okay. That's what that's giving. Some blue tape. We need it, doesn't open right, so let's just leave it open so they know, and then take a note, pick whatever we want. Everything else seems to be pretty good. This seems solid, right? Now, and I don't know if this is on or not, I don't actually see power to it. Don't see a clock or anything.
It's not pushed up all the way though. So
I think it goes back any farther. Right there. So that's not working. Is the microwave? Let's do a minute on that. All right, see if it starts. We'll just start. Not start.
Just hit 30 seconds. Hit X and then hit 30 seconds. In the middle, to the left. 30 seconds. Whoop, there you go.
Oh, that.
Door shut.
Door's not closed, okay.
There you
Alright,
go.
cool. We're running that, looks like it's working, we're not gonna microwave anything. We're just making sure it has power. Not hot still? Cool, it's cold. So let's turn it the other way and see if they got it reversed or something. That's possible, and that's something we wanna know, because they will power up. It's getting there. I mean, if, you know, especially where it is, they can fix that, so let's get them to blue tape it. So they're just adjustment, it takes about 2-3 minutes to do. Might make it right. It's definitely getting to where I would say it's noticeable. Yeah. You know, I would get, if it was like a little more like, it's where I would like to see it. You see, most of these have already done this. I've taught them because they know, every other house I've told them like, hey dude, and now they know when they do the cabinets, just adjust everything and make it pretty nice. Not get warm?
Stuff are the same.
Nah, okay, so, okay, cool. This is not working. So Scott, we gotta take a pic. Maybe what I can do is be like, no hot water. Here, I'll just write that here, no hot water. All right, just do that for them, they'll know.
What's enough? And what does it take to fix that?
I'm sure it's just either, they just have, probably the water heater's not on or something. They probably got it all hooked up. Maybe it could be a breaker, it could be anything, but I want them to fix it beforehand. It's often an easy fix, but like, let's fix it now before we want the list, they're gonna look, you make this house perfect, they're gonna find stuff.
Right.
They just will find it just, I'm gonna have a house that is just like excellent, and they'll put 5 to 7 things no matter what. We just want them struggling to find things. Right, they will find some things to put on. No water, everything feels dry. Yeah. Okay, how about the appliances? We've kind of been checking through those. Is this refrigerator working? Everybody gonna just make sure the door's open and it's cold inside? Ice maker, if anybody has one to check
You
that.
want to put tape on here? This is all that stuff on it. Handle.
Is this, hey Mike,
36.
uh-oh.
Okay, no hot water.
It's not.
We know. No leaks, though. That's pretty good. Leaks are pretty. Got some ice. Ice is working.
But on the inside, look at it, it's wet or something.
It's I don't know what that's frost in there. Probably.
I think it got left open.
So, I don't know what that is. Maybe they clean it. It's just like a cleaning, maybe. So Scott, can you take a picture inside this? Just maybe clean it up. I don't really know what to do there other than just clean it, I guess. Water. This thing's going, so that's cool.
Trying to figure this out.
Anything else we should check just
It's
in
like a
this
video
area?
game, which I'm not good at.
Oh, lights.
Lights.
While we're here, right? Let's make sure. Well, they're all on. That's a good start. Right? They're all on. They're all turning on.
This
and
one works. There's one underneath the sink if you want to switch that on and off. Figure out what that does.
Probably garbage disposal. We'll run it real quick and make sure it's going. Just see if it turns. Yup. So that worked. Yeah, let's turn the water on. We can run it for a second.
You want to try the sockets?
All right. So that's working. Coming on. All good. All right. All right. We got all that.
Oh, the socket.
The lights are on. So turning the lights on and off is the key.
You check all the
Sockets.
We're gonna check the sockets next, and I got some tools for you to do that with. But let's start with, because we're not to electric yet, let's just finish up with our plumbing. So let's go to the bathrooms now. We got 2 bathrooms. If you want, we can go half and half. Half go to the master, half go here, so you guys can all fit in.
Mike, what about some of the scratches on the floor from the stove? What do you do about that kind of
A
stuff?
lot of them should, well, a rug. All right. That's what I do, clean up. A lot of them are just scuffs that'll come up when they clean the floor.
These are new, right?
Yeah, they're new. There's always a little, like this scratch. They're just gonna take a little putty and wipe it in, like dark putty, and then ideally would be a kitchen rug would be nice. It would make the house look nicer, plus it would hide some of those imperfections. It's just gonna have some of those. I mean, as much, we just put these floors down like 5 days ago. People come through, we put stuff on them, it's impossible to keep them perfect, unfortunately. But, yes, hardwood. Well, most of the way, you want to make sure the overflow's working for everyone. And then you're going to run that sink, flush the toilet, make sure the shower's working, see if it's getting hot. All those things, right? You're basically making sure everything in that bathroom's working, no leaks. And make sure, so when you're filling the tub up, the reason we're filling it up is to make sure it drains properly, but also make sure that overflow is actually working. Because then, it doesn't then. So fill it to the top, and then unstop it, let it run down, and just make sure it's actually going down properly. Now let's go to the master for the other half. We'll do the same thing in there. Oh, cool, he's got it. So fill it up. Make sure the water's coming out. It's coming out a little weird. Yeah. But it's got good pressure and all that, so that should be fine.
Do you want to hold it to get in there?
Yeah, sure. So we take a look. You see. Hold on, I gotta. So basically, what we do is we're. Oh, dude. That's not unusual. So there's the dangers of that. Pull it to the side and make sure that goes up right. I gotta get somebody. So we're stopping the tub up and we're gonna fill it so that way we can take in, when we fill it, we can make sure it drains properly and everything's good. Make sure the toilet works. Just put it to, you can put it behind the door if you want. The toilet's flushing. You gotta take a poop, that's even better. You can actually try it. What are we seeing in here that's not right?
I like.
There's no light bulbs, right? Scott, come on, we need some pics, man.
Got you.
So we're missing some light bulbs. Light, that's why we have the flashlight. So we can check under here and see. Everything looks nice. I don't see any water, everything looks like it's fine. No leaks. Nice and clean under there. Still no hot water though. So that means it's a water heater issue. Probably just turning it on, honestly. All right, someone's got to make sure that fills up, and then you want to let that fill for a bit. We'll come back in a second. So one thing we might take a picture of, Scott. You want to come back? Sure. I don't know if the water's coming out funny. That could be a picky thing, but it looks like the water's coming out like a little odd for some reason.
Do we still have the water going in the other room too?
Yeah, hold on. Step back for a second. I'm going to turn the shower on, but not like... I'm not going to just real quick. Yeah, turn it real quick to that. Make sure it's working, that's all. So what we're looking for is shower's working fine, but make sure nothing's leaking up there. No leaks when it gets up there. Looks good to me. Overall, the pressure doesn't feel crazy high, does it? It feels a little low, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is the other room still running?
Oh, we got like multiple rooms running. That's probably why.
Dishwasher, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, in the dishwasher. Yeah, how about whoever's at that other room? Anyone at that other room?
Shit.
Let's make sure we're not.
They just want to back over there.
Somebody, okay, cool, because I make sure we don't miss it.
It is taking a long time to fill.
Well, we got multiple things running at once, so keep that in mind. We got another tub, a dishwasher, everything's running at once, so that makes sense. But it is running solidly, and it's all new plumbing in the house. But if it's an older house with galvanized pipes, then that might be a sign that we just don't have good water pressure. Other than that...
Did we flush this toilet?
Yeah. Did you? Okay.
You did. Did we look underneath? Did we look underneath too? And it is all clear.
There's no,
Yeah, nice and dry. Good.
you gonna keep this going?
You want to fill that up?
That would be a paint thing, we just put a little touch up in.
Well, it looks like we went up to 61.
Well, is it running now? Do you feel air coming out of it?
I don't feel any
I
air.
think
but-
it's just because we're in here and the door
It says heat on.
Any air coming out the ducts? Nope. I don't think it turned on.
They're not on.
That's a
Oh, this is, this right here.
Right here, feel this. Right here is cracked. And here is cracked. Okay, on both sides.
Crap, that's unusual.
Hmm?
There's a lot of cracks going on here that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
That's definitely a crack. I mean, honestly, I don't know if anyone can fix that. But I'm glad you did, because we can at least address it if we're gonna.
Freaking ton of cracks on there.
Yeah, they're real cracks.
I think it's more on the inside. I think it's
Should,
He's right here. He's
Scott, can you get like a close up on
How about
that?
this, Mike? You worry about this? Like, look like they drew line and you forgot.
No, I mean, if you, yeah, you can just put a little tape on there, like tiny touch up. I mean, these things I don't get too crazy with. I almost like some level feel like, all right, I'm always trying to think, what do I have to have? Because especially if you're not working with someone you got a good relationship with, you'll see their head explode when you start like taking them too hard. Just like one so they know overall. I don't know what's going on with that. So, okay.
That's a great tip there.
How about lights working? Are these lights working? We'll check and see. They are. Got a weird look to them, real yellow looking to me, but
Well, it's because it's Edison.
It's the bulb.
Yeah, it's what they're supposed to look like.
they don't really match though. I guess that's that mood lighting, huh?
Yeah, the mood lighting, you go with the yellow lamps.
He wants us to go to the stopper, right? Make sure
How about that? I mean, that
Yeah.
feels super loose to me.
But on this side, looks like there's a, yeah, But,
Well, they just need tightness.
but it looks like on this side, like the hole was made too big or something. You can still see.
Yeah, you still see it.
Yep.
I wouldn't have caught it, but, you know, again, you could probably touch that up or caulk it, anything really, just because it probably blend in.
Right.
But all I did was tighten these up and fix the problem because they were just not tightened up very well. Notice that by them being a little crooked. Not too bad. How about opening and shutting doors? All the regular doors, we can go to that next, right, while we're in here. While we're waiting, we make sure all these doors are open and shut properly. But sometimes they swell up and they stick and they're not working right or they're rubbing the carpet. That looks like it's working to me.
Oh, I thought he was gonna get stuck in there for a sec.
No, it's all good. So the doors in here are working, lights are working fine.
You wanna shut this door?
Yeah, sure, definitely. We still haven't gotten the HVAC. Basically, when you're looking at doors, you're just checking this. When you open the doors, you're just checking to see if they're rubbing. It's like they open, you're not like stuck in stuff. But you can trim them up, make them open up properly. So as we go through, so on the first floor, you think we found, oh, we haven't been to that last bedroom.
Do we even bother with the windows?
We do.
Okay.
So you certainly want to make sure they're all opening shut and properly.
Okay.
We'll do that in a minute, where we all just, since there's enough of us, we can always take a few windows each, because it takes a little bit of time to kind of make sure.
Right, okay.
But we do want to make sure that they're not, main thing they're checking for is open and shut, the lock, and that when you push them up, they don't fall down. That's called a baluster problem, that they open, shut, they lock, and they don't fall down when they're up. So how about the water? I think we could probably just, let's see if it drains now. I don't know if you have to go too crazy, but it should have a decent amount. All right, let's watch it.
You want to check on that other one?
Let's drain on, going in the water. So we can hear it, you know, you probably can't hear it on Facebook, but it's draining, it's going down nicely. Two things, we want to make sure it's draining properly, but also there's no leaks in the basement when it drains. So we'll check the electrical plugs. This is how you do it, 16 bucks.
What is that called?
It's called
It's in the electrical tools section of your Home Depot.
Oh.
Like you
Commercial.
got, it's not by all the other
basically
tools.
it's electrical tester.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool because it'll tell you if it's wired correctly. So plug it in. Who wants to try it? Try a plug. Everybody take a turn and try it. Let's go. We're all going to team up. So when you're done, do like 2 plugs and give them to someone else. Now these are GFIs. You guys know the difference between a GFI and a regular plug?
Oops, sorry.
So that's going to see that button that says test GFI. You actually, so the green's good. Now there's a button on top. All right.
I just flicked it, yeah.
Cool. So it worked.
Okay.
So it would let you know if it didn't work when you hit that button. It would turn red. The fact that it's green, we're all good.
Put it in the other
So what does red mean?
Red means there's something wrong. We're going to put a piece of blue tape. An electrician will have to figure out why it's coming red.
Well, I think you got to reset this.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
you
probably have to
gotta
reset this.
Oh, that button.
There you go. Got it. It was tripped. So we should be green now. Cool.
So if you press the button,
It went off, so it's good. And then just hit the reset. So these GFIs are ground fault.
Do you check every?
Every GFI, but that's also everything on this circuit should be
But
tripped.
let me see. I want to look at the other things.
You're just making sure they're green too.
Yep.
Green good. See that? Share some when you're done.
You need to do both or one spot, just the bottom top like you.
I do.
Probably do both, but I think one they should be the same.
And what do these
One
things
works, they should.
mean, essentially?
Well,
Open, neutral,
so your whole thing is if it ain't green, you're just gonna say put a blue tape on it and say, hey dude, it's not right.
Okay,
Right? It's gonna be green or it's red, then you don't really know. Let them come figure it out.
gotcha.
But we're really looking for red.
Okay.
So anytime
Outlet
you find a red,
circuit analyzer. Outlet circuit analyzer.
outlet circuit.
Did they
analyzer.
reset? Is there?
So that means we're gonna have this not working, so it'd be nice for us to, how cool is it when the inspector comes through and does that test that they all work?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes even when they're all working, for some reason they're not working when you get a home inspection. So we wanna make sure they're working, and then if one falls off or whatever, it's not a big deal. Was everything else in the room good?
I'm
Oh.
nothing.
Now pass them along. Is everybody taking a turn? Oh, what do we see here?
One light.
One light bulb. This electrician is slipping, but little small stuff. I don't even need to call electrician back. I have my contractor do that.
Do you have to check anything in this closet?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Let's look at it and see. Sure, I didn't look in there, so I think first rule would be look in it, right?
Can I get a prize?
Looks good to me.
It's Should that be a door?
that should have
Well, the
like a-
door's right there. I mean, the
They
door.
just haven't closed
They
it.
haven't closed it,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna put these two tape. Close door. Scott, we need a picture.
Oh, look, the stove is on.
The one next to the sink? Or?
I think Scott fixed the stove too.
Okay, so it doesn't have little buttons to that.
Well, so here's what's happening. He had a good question. Hey, I got something I can teach you that's really it comes up all the time, and it's home inspectors get this wrong all the time. For anyone paying attention, this one and this one are not GFCIs. They're all on the same circuit, so they'll trip just like that'll trip.
So that one.
But in a home inspector will often say that you need GFCIs here. GFCIs, whatever. Yeah, you need GFCs here.
Okay.
But you don't because they're on the same circuit. So code says as long as they're on the same, one is in on the circuit, it'll make the whole circuit interrupt. So because they all run through that, so that actually protects these. But I often will see a home inspector say that, and it's nice to know that because instead of having someone come out and put GFCIs in, you literally, if you know what you're doing, you can say electrician evaluated it, this is code, and here's what it's doing. And most home inspectors are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't know because they're not electricians.
Now, question. So let's say the hair dryer trick, right? I have a hair dryer plugged in here for whatever reason, right? And there's water, and I decide to toss it in.
Well, let's get real. So you
It's-
got,
it's a toaster.
Boys, toasters
so
in the
you're
bathroom.
clipping, right? You're clipping, but you're like, you know what? This clip is going to slowly wash the dishes.
Uh-huh.
You know, you get two things done at once. You're like clipping, and like you'll be okay. It'll just trip and it'll stop. Like if there's ever, like water gets to that, it'll trip. Windows and doors opening. Everybody grab a window or two and see if pull the blinds up. So you want to see us just check a window. Really with the windows, it's really simple. Open them, shut them, make sure they lock, and make sure when they're up, they don't fall down on you. And then if not, they're all good. And to make sure they're vinyl at least, they're just working properly. After that, that's it. The last thing you can really check is we have a moisture meter. If you haven't waterproofed the basement, we're going to go look at that now and show you how that works. And then we have this little gun that'll tell us the heat. It actually is a little heat thing. So watch, we run the water. Now we can see it'll get hot. You can actually take and shoot that little laser there. 73 degrees, oh, it's getting warmer. 81. 82. Let it run for a bit, it'll get hot, but what we use this for is we'll use it on the HVAC system. So on the cold, when we're doing the HVAC, we could have got that running, we want to make sure that it's cold. There's a certain temperature that your cold should be to make sure your freon's not loose. And you just run this, and when you do it, so currently, I'm sitting currently at about 89 degrees. So, oh, look at that. Now it's at 96, 99 degrees. Probably even hotter than that, but it's warm. But we really use this little gun. It's only about $30 at Home Depot if you want to get one. We use it, so yeah, that's working. You want to test to make sure the thing comes on and everything? Just turn those on and see if they get hot. When we had some reason we did this, I have no clue why. We do it when we have a choice. There's a gas one there. I think we were putting it in. There was just something weird that came up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Hit bait.
Which one did you put on?
These two.
So we're testing this just to make sure it's coming on, it's working, it's all good.
Right.
Yeah, don't you don't have to turn that on really, but mainly just see if the cooktops are coming on. You put them all the way at high, you'll see it getting red. Okay, so it's getting red, it's good. What's the temp on that?
Now he's got a new toy.
I don't feel like it's working right because I know that's more than 90-some degrees.
Touch it.
Well, it just started.
I already know. I can look at it. So air vents, we're just make sure every room has a heat source and that there's good airflow coming out, and not like real weak airflow. How we do it is put a piece of paper on. Ours is not working, so we can't check it. So that's part of why we're here. We know now we need to get it working so that can get checked later on. We can't check it during this inspection, but the key to this inspection is just making sure all these big things are working. You come in the house and the HVAC's not working, the stove wasn't on, the water heater wasn't working. Overall, a couple of the plugs need to be fixed. These are things that would make somebody think no, these guys weren't thorough. Right? They didn't take their time. What kind of electrician is this? Is this guy on something? Yeah, and then if you didn't pull permits, they're going to be like, oh, did you pull permits? That's how it works every time. So this is what we use for this. This is called a moisture meter. You can see this. We can put this against anything to see if there's moisture in the walls. So let's use it here. And it has a mode. It has a wall.
I think I need that.
Yes.
You buy one?
No, I didn't.
Are you gonna buy one?
Money.
You can hit the shower wall.
I am interested in that.
So it's 0, that's good.
Okay.
All right, it can go up to about 10 to 20% is normal. Like you're gonna have some normal moisture. Like we go to the block wall downstairs, there'll be some moisture in it. 100% means it's just straight water. Like look, see me? Where we are, we're 100% water. Let's go in here and see if it's any moisture.
Anything with ice.
Oh,
It's an actual device that you just put up and it told you even when they were.
100% because it's wet.
It's wet.
Yeah, because we were just on it. But this wall, 0. That's what we want to see. So we got no moisture going on. A lot of times a home inspector will have this and they'll be checking. If they see any moisture behind any walls, they're going to be like, hey, you got a problem. That could turn into mold.